So Amazon presses Chinese sellers over Temu pricing. Amazon is pressuring Chinese sellers to stop offering lower prices on Temu, a competing e-commerce platform, to maintain its competitive edge. Sellers who fail to comply risk being removed from the coveted buy box, which significantly impacts sales visibility on Amazon. This intensifies the battle between Amazon and budget platforms like Temu, which are gaining popularity with U.S. shoppers. Sellers are now caught between pricing demands from both platforms, struggling to balance profitability and compliance. So for me, I like this. I love to hate this, or however you want to say it, right? Because I don't like that they do this practice, because I think it's price fixing to look at your prices on Walmart or Shopify or wherever, and then suppress your Amazon listing if you're a different price there, because fees vary and everything like that.
Right.
I think that's a form of price fixing. But if they're going to do it on all these other platforms, and primarily to US sellers on those platforms, then I think they should also do it for sellers on Temu, Shine, and other platforms and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And part of me wonders, some of these Chinese sellers on Amazon, their prices are so low. How can they offer it even less on Temu if it's the same product? So I wonder, how much of all this is being subsidized by whether it's the Chinese government or, platforms like Temu or something. So how are they able to offer all these low prices is where I kind of wonder. And so Amazon now is starting to, scratch their own head and like, how is this happening? I thought we had the best deals. So how could they have even lower deals? So it's interesting. And, the Amazon haul thing, I have yet to hear anyone talk about Amazon haul since, I think it was one of the stories that we talked about when maybe I was on a previous episode of Amazon Seller School News. I haven't heard much about it in the last month. And you think you'd hear about it more in the holidays.
That's definitely true. A little bit, but not a lot. And that would be one of my questions, is if the same or very similar product from the same seller is listed on Amazon Haul and Amazon.com, are they going to suppress Amazon.com if Haul is cheaper?
Right. Right. Exactly. There's a lot of weird dynamics. I think Haul was kind of a Hail Mary pass of okay, let's try to eat into some of their market share at Temu. I think Amazon is scared. I think they've shown time and time again, with whether it be Jet.com, Walmart, Etsy, eBay, any other sort of kind of marketplace that's come out over the last few years, they end up eating their lunch, because it's kind of a little bit more of an equal playing field.
Yeah.
Equal playing field of the field itself is, equal, but it's the University of Georgia would be like Amazon, and maybe Jet.com was like the local high school team. And so the playing field itself was equal, but Amazon had such a monopoly on the systems and the talent and everything that they just dominated.
Yeah.
Temu, I don't think they know how to play yet. So it's we'll create our own thing. We'll suppress the pricing. So I think this is going to be interesting to see where this goes. I'm glad Amazon's playing a little more hardball with this, because if they just let Temu do its thing, Temu eventually will, I don't want to use the term parasite or anything like that, because I don't mean to say it like that, but it's they will eat them from inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Temu is, Amazon lost a lot of money for quite a while, billions of dollars they lost over the course of many years.
Yeah.
Temu is doing the same thing at a much more rapid pace, but they're also pushing those losses onto the sellers, because last week we had that story about how Temu, or sellers on Temu, were revolting and removing some of their products because once Temu has your products, you don't necessarily control the price they sell them at. They're going to sell it at whatever price they want. And if it's a loss to you, you just don't get any money.
Oh,
And so
really?
there were sellers removing products from Temu because that's what they were doing. They were getting the products, selling them at a loss, and then just not paying the seller anything because there was no profit.
That's crazy. Does Temu have like their own fulfillment, or is the seller fulfilling it themselves on Temu?
Yeah, so it was all direct from China. So I believe
Mhm.
they had warehouses in China where the product would go and then they would ship it over.
Got it.
Now they're opening up warehouses in the US. And then also last week or the week before, we talked about family warehouses where people are setting up
Oh, I remember
warehouses
that one.
in
Yeah.
their house, in their basement, in their garage, and fulfilling orders for Temu and such from there. So they're working on their warehouses here in the US, and that's growing, I think, because of the closing of the de minimis loophole
Hmm.
is forcing them to do that to get the goods over here and shipping them, because having 2-3 weeks lead time isn't an advantage anymore if you can't offer it super cheap by avoiding those tariffs.
Right. Right. It'll be interesting to see where those tariffs go, but that's another discussion.